Hello once again, and welcome to our history lesson for today. In our previous lesson, we looked at some major importance of history, and we also looked actually at what history really means. In today's lesson, we are going to look at sources of history. And if you are aware, I've always told you that the moment you hear the word sources, what it simply means is what? Where we get something from. Okay, where we get something from. So today our focus is going to be on sources of what? History. Sources of what? History. Let's go straight into our lesson for today. Now we get something or information of a group of people, okay, or a place, of an institution, or anything related to history. We get these information from sources. We don't just think about them, but there are areas or places where we get information on these historical incidents. Now, examples of some of the sources of where we get information on history are, let me say, the first one is archaeology. Say after me, archaeology. And I know this is a big word for you, but don't worry. It's a very simple word. Just that it sounds big. Archaeology. Now, I'm sure you would ask me what archaeology is. Archaeology simply means what? The study of the past by digging the ground, okay? By digging the ground for historical materials. Archaeology simply means the study of history or the past by digging of what? The ground for historical materials. Let's look at some of the historical materials you're talking about here. For example, when you go to Egypt, okay, you've heard of the Egyptian mummies, you've heard of Moses, you've heard of the pharaohs and all that. Okay. Now, the people who used to live in caves, okay, lived with certain materials. For example, their caps, what they wear, and all that. So historians who study using archaeology go to these places, dig the ground to find certain materials to write history on them. Now, when they dig the ground and they find certain historical materials, they are able to tell, okay, that this is what the people used to what? Wear, or this is what they use in what? Eating and all that. So archaeology is one major source what we can find information on history of the past from a group of people. Okay? So remember, archaeology is simply the study of history or the past by digging the ground for historical materials. I hope you got that. Good. Now let's look at the second one. This one is very interesting. You see the way I'm talking to you now. We can get information, okay, from oral tradition. From what? Oral tradition. Remember I said anytime you hear the word oral, oral simply refers to what? Something we say, or it relates to what? Our mouth. So oral tradition. What does this mean? Oral tradition simply means the telling of stories, the telling of history, okay, by an elderly person to a younger generation or to younger people through the word of mouth. So when someone tells a story about a group of people, okay, the person is doing what we call oral tradition. And I know you like stories. And just as I'm doing here, I'm telling you what? Stories. In Basic 3, we learned about the migration stories of the major ethnic groups. I hope you remember that one. So yes, and I did that by what? Oral tradition. I said it, I spoke the what? Or I told the story. So oral tradition is what? The another source where we can what? Get information on history. The other one is numismatics. Yes, this is another big word, but very small. Say after me, numismatics. Again, numismatics. Again, numismatics. Now, what does this mean? Numismatics simply means the study of coins. Okay? The study of what? Coins. Let me show you just one so that you know. Numismatics simply means the study of what? Coins. Okay? You've all seen the coins before. Now, when you look at coins, okay, there are certain information on coins. For example, when you take the current coins that we have, for example, this is a 50 pesos coin. Okay, you have what? The coat of arms, and then at the back you have a woman over there. Now, every coin has got information on them. And this is a way to what? Get information about a group of people. For example, if you were born in, just let's say, in the early 2000s, you don't know history before 2000, the year 2000. So when you see certain coins, certain notes, okay, money, notes or tokens, they have written information on them. Or even, for example, when you take currently the Ghanaian notes, for example, 2 cedis, 2 cedis, the 20 Ghana cedis, you have certain information on it. First of all, you have the big six. You know that. Good. Now, I'm sure you know or you have heard about the big six. This is a major information for you to know the history of these big six. So, numismatics is just the study of coins, tokens, medals, okay, used by people who lived years ago. And I know you know what a medal is. Those who do sports, they hang the medals around their necks. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a subsequent lesson. Now let's look at another source where we get information on history from. Wall paintings. Wall paintings. And I'm sure you've all seen wall paintings before. Good. Even in your rooms, in your homes, you have wall paintings, right? Now, wall paintings are drawings on the wall, okay, that tell the story about a group of people. Now, if you remember carefully, when we went to, okay, you probably didn't go. Yes, don't worry, we'll go this time. Okay, when everything is fine, when COVID is over, we'll visit some of these historical sites, and you'll be very, very much amazed. For example, when you go to the Cape Coast Castle, or the James Fort, or Asher Fort, or the Christiansborg Castle, there are certain wall paintings, okay? And the wall paintings in those places tell the history about those who were kept over there, okay? It tells about the history of those who were kept over there. So wall paintings are what? Are also a major source where we can get what? Information on history from. Now, there are so many sources of what? History. You can talk about old newspapers. Yes, old newspapers. And you can also talk about funeral brochures. When someone dies, that small book, okay, that they write history about the person on, and they have all the history about the person in that small brochure, funeral brochure. You also have old photographs. Old photographs. You yourself, you have old photographs. Now, those old photographs can tell a lot about your past. Okay, mommy and daddy have got old photographs. Grandma, grandpa, they all have old photographs. When they show them to you, they tell you what? Their history. Do you get it? All right. Then you can also look at diaries. Diaries. And I'm not sure you know what diaries, but diaries are a small book. You know, people write their daily activities on. I have one. Every day when I wake up, I write about everything that happens in the day so that I can keep track of what happened previously. Okay, so diaries are also a major source of what? History. Then craft work. When we say craft work, it simply means, let's say, wood carvings, okay, wood carvings or sculptures made out of wood, made out of stone and others. These are what? works that can also tell the story about a group of people. And in your creative arts, you are learning about what? The history of African craft or African arts. Okay. This can give you the story or information about a group of people. Good. You can talk about old letters. Some of you like writing letters. Yes, so you write a letter to your friend, to mommy, to daddy, or to whoever. When that letter is there, years from today, you pick it and you know that, okay, this is what happened years ago. So these are just but a few sources of history that you must know. I'd like to end my lesson here for today, but let me recap on the things we have studied so far. We said that there are many sources of history. First, you can get information from what? Archaeology. Archaeology, which is the study of the past by digging the ground. We can also get another source is oral tradition, where the story of a particular group of people is told by an elderly person and passed on from generation to generation. You can also look at the study of coins, money, notes, medals, which is known as what? Numismatics. Get this right, numismatics. It also is a major source of what? Information with regards to what? History. And then wall paintings, letters, and what have you. Thank you so much for joining me for today's lesson. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.